Hey, there, English learners. Welcome to another episode of Native Explorer, the podcast that helps you not just learn English, but actually live in English. I'm your host, Sarah, and I am absolutely thrilled to be here with you today. Before we dive into today's topic, I want to share something personal with you. Last week, I received a message from Maria, a listener from Brazil. She told me she'd been following Native Explorer for 6 months, and for the first time ever, she had a full conversation with her English-speaking neighbor. She said she felt confident, natural, and most importantly, she enjoyed every minute of it. Stories like Maria's remind me why I'm so passionate about this podcast and why I believe in every single one of you listening right now. Today, we're going deep into a topic that almost every learner has faced at some point. Maybe this is you. You've been learning English for months or even years. You know the grammar rules by heart. You've memorized hundreds, maybe even thousands of words. You've downloaded all the language learning apps on your phone. You've bought grammar books, workbooks, and even invested in expensive courses. But still, when it's time to speak, you freeze. You can't find the words. You feel nervous. Your mind goes blank. You hesitate and stumble over simple sentences that you know perfectly well on paper. You might even understand native speakers perfectly when you're listening, but when it's your turn to respond, it's like your brain shuts down. Sound familiar? If you're nodding right now, if you're thinking, Sarah, this is exactly me, then this episode is specially crafted for you. Today's topic is why you're not improving in English and what you can do about it. But more than that, we're going to explore the psychology behind language learning, the hidden barriers that keep you stuck, and the practical, actionable strategies that will finally get you speaking with confidence. Are you ready to transform your English journey? Let's get started. Let's start with the truth, and I'm going to be completely honest with you here. Many learners reach a point where they feel stuck, and I mean really stuck. It's like they've hit a concrete wall, and no matter how much they study, no matter how many hours they put in, they're not moving forward. They feel frustrated, sometimes even hopeless. I've seen students who've been studying for 5, 6, even 10 years, and they still can't have a simple conversation without panic setting in. Why does this happen? What's going on here? After working with thousands and thousands of learners from over 50 countries, after analyzing the patterns and conducting interviews with both successful and struggling students, I've identified 5 major reasons why people get stuck. And here's what's interesting, it's rarely about intelligence or natural talent. The people who struggle the most are often the most dedicated students. They're the ones buying every course, downloading every app, studying for hours every day. So what's the real problem? Let me walk you through these 5 critical reasons, and I bet you'll recognize yourself in at least 3 of them. The first reason is studying, not using. You see, many people study English, but they don't use it. They read grammar books for hours, they memorize vocabulary lists with hundreds of words, they do online exercises until their eyes hurt. They watch YouTube videos about English grammar. But when do they actually speak English? Almost never. And when I say never, I mean never. Some of my students admit they haven't spoken English out loud in months, even though they study every single day. Here's a powerful example that really drives this point home. Imagine you want to learn to play the guitar. You read all the books about chords and music theory. You study the history of guitar. You memorize the names of all the parts of the guitar. You watch videos of people playing guitar. You even dream about playing guitar. But you never actually touch the guitar. You never put your fingers on the strings. You never strum a chord. Will you get better? Of course not. You might know everything about the guitar intellectually, but you can't actually play it. Language is exactly the same. It's a skill, and skills need practice, not just theory. But here's where it gets interesting. Many students tell me, but Sarah, I don't have anyone to practice with. Or, I don't have opportunities to use English. And you know what? I understand that challenge, but it's not actually true. You have the most important conversation partner available 24/7 yourself. You can practice English every single day, even if you live in a country where nobody speaks English. The second reason is fear, and this one runs deep. You're afraid of making mistakes. You're afraid of being judged. You're afraid people will laugh at you or think you're stupid. You want to sound perfect before you open your mouth. You rehearse sentences in your head over and over before speaking. Sometimes you avoid conversations entirely because you're terrified of saying the wrong thing. But here's the truth that might surprise you. You learn to speak by speaking, and you grow through your mistakes, not by avoiding them. Let me share a personal story. When I was learning Spanish, I once ordered sopa de bibi at a restaurant, thinking I was ordering baby food soup for my nephew. What I actually ordered was baby soup, as in soup made from babies. The waiter looked horrified, other customers stared, and I turned bright red. But you know what? I never forgot the difference between comida para bibis and sopa de bibi after that embarrassing moment. That mistake taught me more than any textbook ever could. Here's a real-life tip that changed everything for me. When babies learn to talk, they make so many mistakes. They say, I goed instead of I went. They say mouses instead of mice. They mix up words constantly. But nobody laughs at them. We encourage them. We celebrate every attempt. We clap when they say something new, even if it's completely wrong. So why do we allow ourselves that same kindness? Why do we expect perfection from ourselves when we're essentially babies in this new language? I want you to think about this for a moment. Native speakers make mistakes too. They say and They start sentences and don't finish them. They use the wrong word sometimes. They mispronounce things. And yet, communication still happens. Connection still occurs. The goal isn't perfection, it's communication. The third reason hurts a little, but it's important, and I need you to really hear this. You don't improve because you're not consistent. 1 week you study for 5 hours straight, feeling super motivated. Then you do nothing for 2 weeks because life gets busy or you lose motivation. Then you feel guilty and start again with another intense study session, only to stop again when it becomes overwhelming. This cycle repeats over and over. But here's what I've learned from neuroscience research and from watching thousands of students: a real progress doesn't come from big effort once in a while. It comes from small, consistent effort every day. Your brain needs regular exposure to create and strengthen neural pathways. Think about this analogy. What's more powerful for your physical health? Running 10 kilometers once a month until you're exhausted and can barely walk, or walking 20 minutes every single day? The daily walk, right? It's the same with language learning. I once had a student named Ahmed who would study English for 8 hours on Sundays, then nothing for the rest of the week. After 6 months, he was frustrated because he wasn't improving. Then we switched to just 20 minutes every day. In 3 months, he made more progress than he had in the previous year. Why? Because his brain was getting daily English input, daily practice, daily reinforcement. The fourth reason, and this one might surprise you, is that you're learning the wrong kind of English. You're studying textbook English, formal English, academic English, but real-life English is completely different. Native speakers use contractions, slang, idioms, cultural references, and informal expressions that you'll never find in your grammar book. They speak fast, they mumble sometimes, they use filler words, and they don't always follow perfect grammar rules. For example, in textbooks you learn, "How are you today?" But native speakers might say, "How's it going?" or "What's up?" or even just "Hey" with a nod. You learn, "I am going to the store," but natives say, "I'm going to run to the store real quick." You study, "That is very interesting," but natives say, "That's pretty cool," or "No way." This disconnect between what you study and what you hear in real life creates a huge gap in your understanding and confidence. The fifth and final reason is that you're trying to translate everything in your head. When someone speaks to you in English, you hear it, Translate it to your native language. Think of a response in your native language, then translate it back to English before speaking. This process takes forever. By the time you've done all that mental gymnastics, the conversation has moved on, and you feel stupid and slow. Native speakers don't translate. They think directly in English. And yes, you can learn to do this too, but it requires a specific kind of practice that most people never do. Now, let's talk about something deeper, something that goes to the very core of your learning journey: your mindset. Sometimes it's not your English that's the problem. It's the way you think about English. It's the beliefs you have about language learning, about yourself, about what's possible for you. I've noticed that successful English learners, the ones who go from struggling to fluent, they all share certain mindset patterns. And the struggling learners? They share different patterns. The good news is that mindset can be changed. These aren't fixed personality traits. They're learnable skills. Let me share 3 mindset shifts that can completely transform your learning journey. These insights come from working with over 10,000 students and from the latest research in psychology and neuroscience. First shift: English is a tool, not a test. This is huge. A lot of people treat English like a school subject. They're always worried about right or wrong, about scores, about grades. They approach every conversation like it's an exam where one mistake means failure. But English is not a test. It's a tool. It's how you order food in a different country. It's how you send emails at work. It's how you connect with people around the world. It's how you access information on the internet. It's how you enjoy movies and music and books. When you shift from test mode to tool mode, everything changes. You stop worrying about perfection and start focusing on communication. You stop being afraid of mistakes and start seeing them as feedback. You stop feeling stupid when you don't know a word and start feeling curious about learning it. Second shift: learn to enjoy the process. Let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this. Do you enjoy learning English, or do you see it as a chore, something you have to do to get a better job or pass a test? Because here's a secret that the language learning industry doesn't want you to know. The best learners, the ones who become truly fluent, are the ones who enjoy the process. They don't just study English, they live it. They listen to music in English and sing along in the car. They watch movies and TV shows in English for fun, not just for practice. They write in English journals about their thoughts and dreams. They play games in English. They explore topics they're passionate about through English content. They laugh at English memes. They get emotional watching English videos. They play. They explore. They have fun. If you can make English fun, if you can find ways to enjoy it, it will never feel like hard work again. Your brain will actually crave more English input because it associates English with pleasure, not pain. Third shift: mistakes are not the enemy. Say this with me, and I mean actually say it out loud. My mistakes are my teachers. Did you say it? Good. Now say it again with more conviction. My mistakes are my teachers. You'll never improve if you're always afraid to be wrong. Every time you make a mistake, you get closer to fluency because now you know what to fix. But more than that, mistakes mean you're trying. They mean you're pushing your boundaries. They mean you're brave enough to attempt something difficult. Okay, now let's get practical. Let's talk about what you can actually do starting today to get better at English. These aren't just random tips I found on the internet. These are strategies that I've tested with thousands of students, strategies that are backed by research, strategies that actually work. I'm going to give you 5 powerful techniques, and I want you to choose at least 3 to implement this week. First technique: speak out loud every day, even if you're alone. This is non-negotiable. Talk to yourself. Describe your day. Practice new phrases. Comment on what you're doing. Narrate your life like you're the main character in a movie. For example, this morning I woke up at 7 a.m. I felt a bit tired, so I made a strong cup of coffee. Then I check my phone for messages and listen to my favorite English podcast while getting ready for work. Simple, daily, consistent. But here's the key: don't just describe facts. Express opinions. Share feelings. Make predictions. Ask yourself questions and answer them. I wonder if it will rain today. It looks cloudy, but the weather forecast said sunny. I hope it doesn't rain because I want to go for a walk after work. Walking helps me think clearly and reduces my stress. Start with just 5 minutes a day. Set a timer. Speak for the entire 5 minutes without stopping. Don't worry about mistakes. Don't worry about perfect grammar. Just focus on expressing your thoughts in English. After a few weeks, increase to 10 minutes, then 15. This simple habit will transform your fluency faster than any expensive course. Second technique: use input like a native. Stop using English learning materials designed for students. Start using real English content that native speakers actually consume. Watch shows, listen to podcasts, read articles, follow social media accounts, not textbooks, not English learning content. Why? Because real-life English is full of expressions, rhythm, intonation, cultural references, and natural speech patterns that you'll never find in textbooks. But here's how to do it strategically. Start with content that's slightly below your level. If you're intermediate, start with content designed for teenagers or young adults. If you're advanced, go for adult content but choose topics you're already familiar with in your native language. This gives you context clues to help with comprehension. Try the layer method. First, watch or listen with subtitles in English. Focus on understanding the main ideas. Don't stop to look up every word you don't know. Just keep going. Second time, watch or listen without subtitles. Notice how much you can understand. Third time, try shadowing repeat what the speakers say with the same rhythm and tone. This trains your mouth, your ears, and your confidence simultaneously. Third technique: create an English bubble. This one is incredibly powerful and most people underestimate it. Turn your world into an English world as much as possible. Change your phone language to English. Follow English creators on Instagram and TikTok. Set your computer and all your apps to English. Watch YouTube videos in English about topics you're interested in. Listen to English music. Read English books for pleasure, not just for study. But go even further. Label items in your house with English words. Write your grocery list in English. Keep your to-do list in English. Write your diary or journal in English. When you're Googling something, try Googling it in English first. When you're shopping online, browse English websites. When you're cooking, follow English recipes. The goal is to make English a natural part of your daily life, not something special you only do during study time. Little things add up to create massive changes in your comfort level and automatic responses in English. Fourth technique: keep an English journal, but do it right. Write 5 to 10 sentences every night about your day, your feelings, your goals, your thoughts, your plans for tomorrow. But here's the secret: write like you're talking to a friend, not like you're taking an exam. Use contractions. Use simple vocabulary. Express real emotions. Instead of writing, "Today I attended my work and completed my responsibilities efficiently," write, "Today was pretty good at work. I finished my project early, which felt amazing. My boss seemed happy with my work, and that made me feel proud." Then, once a week, go back and read what you wrote. Circle words you used repeatedly. This shows you your active vocabulary. Underline sentences that feel natural and smooth. This shows your progress. Put a question mark next to sentences that feel awkward. These are opportunities for improvement. Don't obsess over perfect grammar in your journal. The goal is fluency and natural expression. You can ask a tutor, a language exchange partner, or even AI for feedback once a week. But daily writing should be about expression, not perfection. Fifth technique: find a speaking partner, but choose wisely. This is the ultimate game changer, but most people do it wrong. You need to find someone who is genuinely interested in having conversations, not just correcting your grammar. Look for someone who is patient, encouraging, and curious about your culture and experiences. You have several options: language exchange apps like Tandem or HelloTalk, where you help someone with your native language and they help you with English. Online tutoring platforms like Italki or Preply, where you can find affordable conversation partners. Local language exchange meetups in your city. English-speaking friends you can practice with. Even AI tools like ChatGPT for practice conversations when humans aren't available. But here's the key: make your conversations purposeful. Don't just chat aimlessly. Have topics prepared. Ask questions about their culture, their experiences, their opinions. Share stories from your own life. Discuss current events, movies, books, travel experiences. The more engaged and interested you are in the conversation, the more you'll learn and the more you'll want to continue practicing. All right, friends. We've covered an incredible amount of ground today, and I can feel the energy and excitement for your English journey building. Let's do a comprehensive recap of everything we discussed, and then I'll give you a powerful challenge that will accelerate your progress. Here's what we discovered today. You're not improving in English for 5 main reasons. You're studying more than you're using, you're paralyzed by fear of making mistakes, you lack consistency in your practice, you're learning textbook English instead of real English, and you're trying to translate everything instead of thinking directly in English. The solution isn't more grammar books or expensive courses. The solution is a complete mindset shift combined with strategic daily actions. Remember the 3 mindset shifts. Treat English as a tool, not a test. Learn to enjoy the process, and embrace mistakes as teachers. Then we covered 5 practical techniques. Speak out loud daily even when alone, consume real English content like a native speaker, create an English bubble in your environment, keep an authentic English journal, and find the right speaking partner. But here's the thing: information without action is just entertainment. Knowledge without implementation is useless. So I'm going to give you a challenge that will transform everything if you commit to it fully. Here's your intensive 10-day English Breakthrough Challenge. This isn't just a casual suggestion. This is a proven system that has helped hundreds of my students break through their plateaus and finally start speaking with confidence. For the next 10 days, I want you to commit to 5 daily actions. Write these down, put them somewhere you'll see them every morning, and check them off each day like a personal contract with yourself. Day 1 through 10, every single day. Speak English out loud for 10 minutes minimum. Set a timer. Talk about anything: your day, your dreams, your opinions about movies, your plans for the weekend. Don't stop talking for the full 10 minutes. If you run out of things to say, describe what you see around you, talk about the weather, or practice introducing yourself in different ways. Second daily action. Consume 20 minutes of real English content. This could be a YouTube video, a podcast episode, part of a Netflix show, or several TikTok videos. But here's the key: choose content you actually find interesting, not content made for English learners. If you love cooking, watch cooking videos. If you're into fitness, watch fitness content. If you enjoy comedy, watch stand-up comedians. Make it enjoyable. Third daily action. Write 5 to 7 sentences in your English journal before bed. Don't overthink it. Write about your day, your feelings, something that made you laugh, something that frustrated you, or plans for tomorrow. Use simple, natural language like you're texting a friend. Fourth daily action. Learn and practice 1 new chunk or expression. This could be something you heard in your daily content consumption, something from today's podcast, or something you looked up because you needed it in conversation. But don't just write it down, use it in a sentence. Practice saying it out loud. Imagine situations where you could use it. Fifth daily action. Think in English for 5 minutes. This is advanced but incredibly powerful. When you're walking, commuting, or doing simple tasks, try to think your thoughts in English instead of your native language. Start with simple observations. It's sunny today. I need to buy groceries. That person has a nice jacket. Gradually build to more complex thoughts and opinions. Now, here's what's going to happen during these 10 days. The first 2 days will feel exciting and new. Days 3 through 5 might feel challenging as the novelty wears off and you realize this requires real commitment. Days 6 through 7 are typically when people want to quit because it feels hard and they don't see dramatic results yet. But if you push through, and I mean really push through, days 8 through 10 will feel amazing. You'll start noticing that English words come to mind faster, that you understand more of what you hear, that you feel more confident expressing your thoughts. Most importantly, after 10 days of this intensive practice, English will start feeling more natural and automatic. Your brain will begin to expect English input and output as part of your daily routine. You'll have built the foundation for lifelong fluency. Here's my promise to you. If you complete this 10-day challenge fully and honestly, you will experience a breakthrough in your English confidence and ability. Not maybe, not probably you will. I've seen it happen hundreds of times with students who are exactly where you are right now. But you have to commit completely. You can't skip days. You can't do half the activities. You can't make excuses. This is your moment to prove to yourself that you're serious about English fluency. Are you ready to accept this challenge? Let me know in the comments below that you're accepting this challenge. Write, "I'm in," and tell me what you're most excited about. Remember, you're not alone in this. There are thousands of Native Explorer listeners around the world working on their English just like you. If you enjoyed today's episode and you're feeling motivated and inspired, please don't forget to follow the podcast, leave a rating and review, and share it with a friend who's also learning English. Until next time, stay motivated, stay consistent, stay brave, and keep exploring the amazing world of English. You've got this, and I believe in you completely.